Hey everyone, welcome to another Take Two podcast, and with us is none other than Animation Rewind, George himself. This is freaking awesome, I gotta say.
I agree with that, and I'm so happy to be on this episode. Thanks for having me and inviting me.
Yeah, dude.
So happy you came back, man. It's really awesome, man. Great dude.
Thanks. You guys are awesome too. Thanks.
Thanks, bro. So it's good to have you back, man. So before we get to the questions and stuff like that, so how you been, man? How's this whole quarantine stuff been going on for you?
Yeah, it's been as best as it can be. I mean, I'm trying to make the best of it, and we've been working on a lot of stuff. We just finished Spyro versus Toothless a few days ago and published that, which was a huge milestone for our team because that was the first episode in a main course series. We did have like a teaser pilot episode with Pennywise versus Freddy, which came back last Halloween, but this was like the first episode where the format is completely down packed. That previous episode was more of like testing the waters. And then after that, we had a really big project, Sephiroth versus Aizen, which should be out relatively soon. The process is going to be a lot faster than the Spyro versus Toothless production. But I've been doing as good as I possibly can be. And I hope your guys' quarantine has been going pretty well as well.
It has been. It's been doing pretty good on my end. Like I said, like Virginia, even though where I live, it's kind of where I live in Virginia Beach, kind of the hardest hitting, but at the same time, I'm not that badly affected. I'm still able to go outside and do my own stuff. So everything's fine on my end. What about you, Reuben? How are you doing, homie?
I've been doing all right for the most part. Still at home recovering from my back injury. See how this goes the rest of the week. Been trying my best to stay quarantined in the process of me healing, staying home healing. But that episode you guys had of Spyro versus Toothless, that was really good.
It really was.
That was kind of like your guys' second video, wasn't it? With because I think your guys' last one, you guys had Crash and it involved. So this time it was, you guys only had, it was this dragon versus dragon.
Yeah.
We finished that trio. We did the Spyro versus Crash Bandicoot, and now we capped it off with Spyro versus Toothless, and we never have to deal with that battle royale ever again. So
thank God.
I hope your back is healing up pretty well. I'm sorry to hear about that.
It's doing all right. For those that don't know, I got 2 discs in my spine that are slightly out of place. I got hurt at work. I took this steroid injection shot to my spine, supposed to help reduce the pain. It's helped a little bit, but it doesn't really fix the problem. It's just reducing the pain.
Had they determined what was the main issue with it? Was it was it out of alignment or whatever?
Yeah, they said it was a couple centimeters off, out of alignment to my disc in my spine.
It's like a slight curve at the bottom.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's maybe just out of place, a little bit. It's right here, just out of alignment. It's one in the middle of my spine and one in the lower part. So it's it was just very But
so it seems like exercises the physical therapy seemed like the best way to go.
Pretty much, it's very tricky. It's more so just stretches.
Oh yeah.
But my next doctor's appointment is on Friday, so we'll see how that goes. I don't know. I've been just trying to stay home and recover for the most part. It's really hard to figure out what I could do without really hurting myself even more. So because the back is really most involvement throughout your whole body. So it's been really tricky. But I've been keeping myself busy, with live streaming, making video content. It's been good for the most part, other than my back. But yeah.
Sorry to hear about your back, and I hope for a speedy recovery. And I'm glad you're fighting through and thinking positively and focusing on positive things. Which is
thanks, man.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, so with that out of the way, I'm glad we're all doing well. I'm glad you're all doing fine. I hope all your families are doing well too, and even those who are watching. Also a quick reminder, we'll try to do a Q&A at the end for if any of you do have any questions for George. We'll leave that at the very end. We're gonna get through our questions, and then we'll try to get to your guys's.
Absolutely.
With that out of the way, Ivan, you wanted to read the first question?
Sure, but first I have to scroll up to my thing because my computer doesn't want to behave right now. So just give me a moment while I scroll up to get to the questions.
Do your thing.
Oh my God, I hate when this shit does that. Give me a second.
No worries.
Jesus Christ, this is not responding right now. Don't do this shit to me. A few moments later. Come on. You know what? Fuck it. You get to you read the first question. I don't know what this shit's. So what is shit's acting up?
No worries. I'll read the first question. With doing 3D animations now, how long would you say it takes to animate a Rumble match, or does it depend on the match?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It kind of depends on who's animating it. We mainly have 2 3D animators, just Zeno, who's been one of the first Team Animation Rewind animators going on since 2016, which is awesome. And it's Cheetahman YT is another very talented 3D animator. And we obviously work with a number of others, but these are our two main ones who we do the most projects with. I would say it kind of does depend on the match, especially with if it's two like anthropomorphic characters, you know, with 2 arms, 2 legs. That's a little bit easier than say something like Spiral versus Toothless when you're dealing with like in terms of a rigged model, a lot longer process. If I had to put a number on it, I would say about 4 to 5 months for each 2 to 3 minute animation, and that's making sure all the sound sounds right, everything is rendered.
Wow.
Yeah, and these guys are really talented, so hats off to them. Without them, this wouldn't exist at all. So yeah, hats off to just Zeno and it's Cheetahman YT. But yeah, it is quite a long thing, and but the good thing about it is we have a lot of animators within the community, and that it gives the illusion that there is a lot going on, but when in reality, it's a lot of slow processes taking place at the same time.
Gotcha. Oh, absolutely. Because you got to consider, like, when you're doing 3D animations, everything has to, let's say, the ripple of a shirt or the footsteps or whatever, like, all has to be extremely precise. Other than that, yeah, that's why a lot of people ask, like, even in death battle stuff, like, hey, why these 3Ds? Why don't you do more? Because they take a very long time and they're not cheap to make either. That's why they can't just throw them out. That's why there's sprites for a reason. If we didn't have sprites, then these versus matches wouldn't exist. So yeah, I totally understand it. The process is extremely long.
Yeah, it's quite a bit. So hats off to them. Talented animators.
Especially, I bet it takes even longer too if you decide to add voice acting in it. Trying to match the lip syncs with the voice acting. Yeah,
that's another hurdle too, because sometimes you want to make sure the script is written out first and then have all the audio recorded, and then it becomes easier to animate to the audio. Though there are scenarios where we animate first and then try to match up the audio. But doing the audio first, for the voice acting at least, is easier. And then the hit sound effects we'll do after the animation is complete. So it's kind of like a multi-layer process.
Okay. Because I was actually just going to say, because I think doing voices will be a little bit more easier than just so that way you can like put parts in. Like if you're doing a grunt sound, doing a or take this or whatever. So it's like, I feel like if you just do that first and then it just becomes a jumbled mess. So yeah.
Right. Gotcha. All right. So, do you want to read the next question now?
Yes, I do. It says, do you by any chance plan to make your own animation series, like something original, like Rooster Teeth made Ruby?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And honestly, maybe one day I'd like to try that out, though there's a lot of challenges when you're doing something completely original that you would have to make sure there's no outsourcing. You would make sure to have the writing is obviously the first step, because if you don't have a concept, animating off the get-go is going to be an extreme challenge. And right now, we're kind of focusing on the Versus series and stuff similar to that, though I would one day in the future like to tackle something like that if it's something within the realm of producing. Yeah, it's a nice concept to try something completely original, though it's a true challenge.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Just to try to create something just like original and stuff like that, that's not easy, because Ruby is definitely it's like one of the pinnacles of originality, so... That's definitely tricky, but I would totally be down to see it. Like,
absolutely, yeah.
That's definitely something we'd be able to watch on our channel, 100%.
Yeah, I feel like originality is very rare on YouTube nowadays. So anyway,
it's so saturated. I mean, there's so many content. It's like there's everything, and then there's a remix of everything. So
exactly. Yeah. Even some remixes can still have some originality still, but one way or another, it's based on something else that already existed. Right. But I digress. Reuben, next question.
All right, next question. Which Rerun Rumble would you say had the funniest responses in the comments after a match? For example, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta versus Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta. Spoiler alert, Gogeta wins.
Oh, yeah. I actually didn't think about that. Maybe a lot of the Sonic ones, especially like the movie Sonic versus DCEU Flash. There's a lot of movie Sonic memes in the comment section. And Cartoon Psycho probably has a lot of really good comment sections as well, especially with all the meme battles, and it's a lot easier to play off that. But I can't think of any like really good ones off the top of my head, but I'm sure there are a lot of great comments, and there's also a lot of good debates and that take place in these comments. A lot of like really cool opinions, and I even learn a lot from these commenters. YouTube comments do get a bad rep in general, but I think that this community, there's a lot of intellectual people who like sharing what they think, what they agree with, what they disagree with. But yeah, if I could think of one, I would mention it. But off the top of my head, I can't really think of like in terms of like witty, funny comments. But there have been, I'm pretty sure.
That's cool. That's
Gotcha.
cool. Yeah, I will say though, like I've been reading a lot of the comment sections, and because obviously, like you said, the comment section does get a bad rep, especially when it comes to versus matches, like with death battle, whatever. They tend to be kind of very toxic depending on who wins or who loses, whatever. I don't think I've seen that in any of your videos or any of the comment sections of your videos. So I think whatever you're doing something right if there's hardly any flame wars at all going on in your comments.
Well, I
So
mean, there is flame wars, and even I would say like it's more of a sense that like it also kind of depends on the match itself, like you just mentioned. So like if it's a heated match, because trust me, there's been heated matches that have flame wars, but
of course,
a lot of matches, like a lot of people can see eye to eye on certain things, and like even with Death Battle 2, recently they have a lot of good threads, and now, especially with that new series, Death Race, I saw that Batmobile one. I mean, it's a pretty good comment section. It's all full of memes and just enjoying the content. So,
yeah.
Yeah,
I
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ruben. Go ahead.
No, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, that's one of the things I was very surprised that like your comment sections in your videos are very rare to not really have too much criticism. They're just really awesome. You know, like usually that's very rare to see. So that's a plus, honestly. That shows, yeah, to me that really shows that you guys are doing a really fantastic job. Like compared to a lot
you guys
of
are doing
other
something
anime
right.
ones. Yeah.
You're doing something. Yeah. Like you're like I could just tell like you're very you go to a lot of depth in your post analysis to like explain hey why this why that instead of being a little bit vague. Be like why this and why that because I know Death Battle has those little cards in the section, but is it to like kind of lay it out too? So what you're doing something right.
Well, I mean, I don't want to like pat myself on the back, but I appreciate you guys complimenting me.
No problem. Bro.
Yeah,
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right. All right. The next comment.
Yeah, let's get it. You mentioned in the previous podcast that you had that you have a team helping you make videos during the pandemic. Would you say it's been harder to make videos or the same?
Oh, wow. That's a really good question. And look, there's been a lot of hurdles with a lot of people's personal lives. So in that sense, it definitely has been quite a bit of a challenge. And even this year, in the early half of the year, we were quite slow to upload. Not counting the Mario versus Mickey episode, there was like a span of almost 70 days of uploading nothing. And that doesn't mean we weren't working. There was a lot of behind the scenes action. But yeah, this year, in terms of producing content, we do have a lot planned for the near future, so expect a lot of great matches coming up soon, but there have been a hurdles this year.
Nice. All right.
Yeah. That's an understatement.
Yeah, that sucks. There's been a lot of hurdles. That's also kind of to be expected with everything going on. So I was very curious about that too myself. I was wondering like how you guys were able to work that out.
Yeah.
Because especially because if you're gonna do it online, it's like this is like I mean I'm sure you could be able to like have someone animate a voice like over the computer, but like were there any moments where you guys have to like actually do it in person?
Oh, well, I mean, like in terms of like getting everyone together, since we're kind of like online anyway, in terms of like quarantine and everything, getting on Discord or debating things out through email and sharing information and stats, a lot of that was relatively the same. The biggest challenges would probably be like finding free time when everyone could hop on and work on a specific thing.
Okay. That makes sense.
All right, yeah.
All right, Ruben.
Next question. Is there a Rewind Rumble matchup that your fans have been requesting a lot for?
That's a good question. There's a lot of great matches. The answer to that would probably be the opposite, which is to stop doing Sonic fights.
To be fair,
and we are going to take note of that. So
to be fair, the Sonic ones were nowhere near as excessive as Sans.
Yeah.
That one I'm just like, dude, that's enough, Sans. That's enough.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, you're right. Cartoon Fight Club and Sans, that's all. And that's why for Rewind Rumble, we made it a rule that we're doing one Sans match for that channel and never touching Sans again. Which
Okay.
Thank God.
We did Sans versus the Judge, and we kissed that one goodbye, but we made sure that ended up being a really good episode. And Ord Animations, the guy who animated that fight, did awesome, in my opinion. He really gave both characters true to their tone and their abilities. And so Sans is definitely a special case, but to answer that question, we've been getting requests to stop doing Sonic, so we're here.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
I would just say at least do at the very minimum 2 more and then move on to something else.
Okay.
Like I said, there's not too many Sonic battles that I can be like, okay, this is too much because. Like I said, it's not to the extent of Sans, so I don't mind it personally. Like, if you want to do 2 more Sonic matches, that's perfectly fine. But that's just me.
I'll take note of that.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Or at least maybe one Sonic video every 6 months. I don't know.
Yes, exactly. All right, next question, Rube. Oh wait, I think that was.
Yeah, that's you.
Oh, that's me. Okay. Which rerun rumble would you say took the longest to collect information for?
Oh, definitely the Reality Warper Free For All. I mean, that episode was delayed multiple years in. That one it's the longest one to date. It's over an hour long if you count both the animation, the pre-analysis, and the post-analysis.
Jeez.
Yeah, so that
Oh,
would be the Reality Warper Free For All. But and even then, it should have been delayed longer. But we almost kind of rushed it towards the end, not to the point of like it severely hurting the episode, but there came a point where if we kept stalling it, it felt like we gotta at least set a goal and end due date to really get this one out because it felt like it was almost never going to come out. But yeah, for sure, that one was the longest to gather all the information necessary and to piece together.
just because it's reality warpers, they can pretty much make anything happen. So how are you gonna pick a winner out of someone that can just warp reality to their own way? That I can totally understand why that would take forever. So it's like how is that possible to decide a winner at that point?
It was real tricky. That's why we did 3 different rankings. We did based on time, based on spatial reality warping, and then an overall power scale. And even then, we have researchers who disagree with the final outcome, and that debating that out and choosing a top 5, it definitely was not an easy choice. Spoiler, besides the one above all, but second place, third place, fourth place, that was a total really close call.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right.
That's really cool.
Let me see.
Go
Next
ahead.
question. Is there an old rerun Rumble / Cartoon Fight Club that you would ever consider reanimating or just leave it as is?
That's a really good question, and I actually haven't thought of that on the bat. Though one that does come to mind is Optimus Prime versus Godzilla, which was we kind of already did that with the Total War doing the Transformers versus Godzilla. We made sure that one was way better than the first match. But I remember looking back at that one because that was one of the first 3D episodes, and that one was animated in Poser Pro, and I was very new to that program. And to put it nicely, it didn't come out as spectacular as I would have liked. So if there's ever one that I want to say extremely remaster in 3D, it'd probably be that one-on-one. But beyond that, I don't think there's one that I personally have stuck in the back of my head that I really want to redo.
Was there any to bounce off that question? So with any of the very older episodes of your Cartoon Fight Club that you would like to revisit again, I don't know, Sailor Mars versus Bloom, just an example, stuff like that. Something from your very first episode.
Example. I mean, maybe remastering something like that could be a lot of fun because there are a lot of older videos that seem a bit dated in terms of production quality.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of the older sprite matches, the way the sprites are rendered out, they're not as crisp as a lot of the newer ones. So I don't have any specifics off the top of my head, but that's something I would like to look back at the old catalog and see what we could redo or remake.
I think that'd be a lot of fun. It's very nostalgic. It was like, hey, I remember this episode, and I think that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
It's definitely something to consider. Absolutely.
Yeah, one of the videos I was thinking that you guys probably could reanimate is you guys' first Cartoon Fight Club, Wario versus Knuckles.
Yeah, maybe for its anniversary, we could try something like that.
I think it might be a lot of fun, new information, because I'm sure there's a lot of new stuff.
Oh, definitely.
Since then, yeah.
All right.
Anywho, next question. Oh wait, wait, was that the one I read? Or is that the one you read?
This is the one you're reading.
Okay. If you could have gotten voice actors that wouldn't impersonate a character of a rewrite Rumble / Cartoon Fight Club perfectly, which matchup would it have been?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would have loved to maybe get Double Artemis back on for future episodes if he has the time, because he did play Cell in Perfect Cell versus Mechasonic. So maybe doing a collab with him again would be a lot of fun. But in terms of characters that we did do but didn't get a chance to have voice actors for, I think Bobobo versus Axe Cop, if we were to find a good VA to fill for both of those characters, that would have been a lot of fun, because that was the first hand-drawn episode. So if we were to top it off with voice acting, that could have been a lot of fun.
Have Devil Artemis actually animated some of your episodes in terms of?
Oh no, he's only voice acted, but that'd be really cool if he could do it to one day maybe animate a fight if the timing
would be.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, we know in the future. I would be down to collab with him again. Yeah, he's a talented guy, and he's got a lot going for him. Hats off to him. He deserves everything he's gained so far and more.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, he literally did whatchamacallit, Ganondorf versus Dracula, And that animation was beautiful. If you could have that quality in your videos, that would probably be the best episode ever. I don't care which
Yeah,
I don't care what matchup it is. If I see something like that, that'd be fantastic.
yeah, I
But
totally.
yeah, like he made that to a point where it was like, am I watching an actual death battle or am I watching a special cutscene in Super Smash Brothers? Because that looks like a cutscene. Because it's based on Smash Brothers, but like, is this a cutscene in the game, or did you legit make this? Like, it's like this is kind of a cop out. Like, this is from a cutscene, and that's bullshit. So, but I digress. That would just be fantastic. So definitely,
I totally agree with him. He's very talented.
if he really is, and I'll definitely
yeah.
hope to see. I hope to see you guys work together in the future
Absolutely.
episodes. So that'd be great.
All right, next question. Is there a video you regret or wish you would have waited to make?
Oh, that's a really good one. Honestly, maybe Trailer Sonic versus Detective Pikachu, which we ended up redoing the full movie version. But sometimes we do matches that are too early, even though we say they're just speculation episodes. But beyond something like that, I don't know if there's something like, because usually when we have an episode like picking out a match, that's one of the things are like way planned out in advance beyond like timing and things go. So the only thing I can think off the top of my head would probably be the first trailer movie Sonic versus the fully completed movie Detective Pikachu. But again, we already kind of remastered that because we recently dropped the full version. Well, it's really a very short bonus episode, but it features the full movie Sonic after we fleshed out his abilities in movie Sonic versus DCEU Flash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, gotcha.
That's cool. That's cool. So next question is, does being an animator on YouTube come with a lot of pressure? For example, the pressure of simply trying to please the fans?
Yeah, being an animator on YouTube comes with a lot of challenges, but at the same time, there's a lot of rewards too, because, animation in terms of the algorithm is one of the most difficult genres, but on the flip side, it's one of the only genres with the least amount of saturation. Like if you were to start a vlog channel or a gaming channel, the saturation is through the roof, and in their saturation is high across the board. But in terms of animating, your biggest challenges would be making animations to favor the algorithm in terms of length and like a lot of frequent uploads, which is challenging for smaller animators, definitely. And even cell-based animators or 3D animators, sprite animation is also quite a difficulty. But if you compare it to other types of animations, you do have a little bit more work room in terms of like using game sprites that have a lot of preset labels. And but yeah, in terms of like pleasing the fans, that kind of depends on what you're animating. Like a versus match would be kind of tough because no matter what outcome you have, someone's going to be upset. But if you're animating, say, like a comedy bit, as long as like it's not nothing too controversial, pleasing like that type of audience would be a little easier than say than a versus audience where no matter who wins, someone is going to wish the other character won.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Especially with versus matches, you're guaranteed to have someone just gonna be not happy, even if the episode is done universally well, where pretty much like 99% of the time everyone agrees with the outcome. There's gonna be that 1% that be like, no, that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Even if it's a very clear cut who wins right away, like what you would call it. You get what I'm saying? But
totally
I get you.
Yeah, even if it's a stomp match, people will get mad that why would you even do it if it's a stomp, like King Kong versus Godzilla. But and sometimes we do matches like that just for the theatrical or the thematic pitting, because like even though it's a stomp to someone who knows the characters really well, if someone is just like new to the verses for each universe, they don't really truly know what to stomp until like learning all the information.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about the entertainment, like that. People just want to see the animation and go. But that's what people should really just take away from this. Like, this is just entertainment. It's not real. This doesn't affect these characters in any way, shape, or form. They're just what if scenarios. Even though it's research, it's still an opinion. It's not set in stone. Hey, this is gonna happen every single time. We never really know what happens every single time. It's all what we think based on the information we got, and that's what people just. I'm not gonna. You call me a hypocrite, but I kind of get a little upset when my favorite characters too. But I always try to keep in mind it's just to show it doesn't matter. Like when they did Obi-Wan versus Kakashi, I didn't think that fight was kind of fair, but it is what it is. Like it didn't matter.
Yeah,
it didn't. I thought Kakashi was a badass. It didn't affect my like for him in any way, shape, or form. So everybody just really needs to develop that mindset, and hopefully people will. So that way, versus communities can really thrive once people finally get to that mindset. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I agree, man.
Right. Next.
If you had the opportunity to brainstorm with a creator for a day, who would it have been? For example, if you had the opportunity to have met Stan Lee.
Oh wow, Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime. If I could ever get a chance to talk to him and just
Yeah.
Yeah, but to answer that question, definitely Peter Cullen, and he is like a huge part of my childhood, voicing Optimus Prime, and of course the G1 series, reprising.
Oh, dude.
And then coming back for Transformers Prime, and then Transformers Robots in Disguise 2, which a lot of the community doesn't like that second series, but getting a chance to speak with Peter Cullen would be one of my greatest dreams if it ever comes true.
That would be awesome, honestly. Yeah,
that'd be sick.
crazy.
That would be fantastic. Yeah. That'd be fun. If you could actually have him actually have some voice clips in one of your battles, dude, that would blow up.
Yeah,
that would blow
crazy.
I'd be like, yo, this is not some good actor. This is legit the man voicing myself right now.
Right.
Dude, that's a wet dream right there. Like that's already exciting for me, and I don't, you gotta make that happen. That'd be so sick.
Hey, one day.
Yeah.
Huh? Oh yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. All right. So next question is, when did you decide to get an animation team together?
Yeah, that's a good question. It kind of happened naturally. It wasn't artificially me looking out to put a team together. It was more so I started Cartoon Fight Club all on my own, and one of the first animators to push the concept of the idea of forming a team was actually just Zeno, and he was the first Team Animation Rewind animator producing Goku versus Naruto episode 17. And from there on out, it slowly just kind of branched. I got more involved with the community, and a lot of people reached out saying, "Hey, I'm working on a project. I'd be interested in taking on a project for your channel." So it was more of a slow process. But to put a timestamp, around 2016 is when Cartoon Fight Club went from a solo project to more of a team-produced endeavor.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, next question. Did you think Capo was going to ruin your channel?
Copa.
I had a lot of fears about Capo. In fact, Capo was one of the main reasons why the Shonen Strike movie, the Fatal Conflict finale, actually got pushed from December to November, because we were worried that Capo was going to come in and just storm all the animated type channels. But now it did affect a lot of innocent creators, and I do feel bad for them. In its totality, though, I do think Capo was a little fear-mongered or overblown, for lack of a better word, because a lot of people were making it seem like that was going to be the doomsday of YouTube, and it did, unfortunately, get a lot of innocent creators. But thankfully, on our end of the stick, the YouTube robot or the AI system didn't hit us as bad as we thought it would have, which is good, and fingers crossed it stays that way.
Hopefully it does, absolutely.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah, jeez.
I mean, to be fair, though, it really did seem like it was just going to just ruin everybody, not just other content creators, but even the small channels who are just really starting to get their feet together and to start to really grow up. And it's just, that's hard work being lost. And that's really hurtful. Especially someone who's starting to get paid or whatever. It's like, wow, that's a complete waste of time.
Yeah.
And I just hope it stays exactly as it is and no one gets screwed over by that.
Right. Oh my God.
Seriously, that would right now, because I just got 4,000. I just did my 4K special. That was so much work, and if that just went away, I would never go on YouTube again. That's it. That was just it's such a repelling thought. It really is. But I digress. So the next question is: are you considering getting involved with other content like gaming, for example, making a gaming channel?
Well, to answer that question, I actually started a basketball channel called Rebound Rewind, where I do NBA analysis videos, and that channel's been doing pretty well for its size. We just released best NBA player at every weight class, and I've done a number of videos so far, ranking the different types of Shaquille O'Neal throughout his career, like Laker Shaq versus Heat Shaq versus Orlando Magic Shaq. So in terms of other types of content beyond versus content, I did start a channel called Rebound Rewind, which features NBA animations. If I know,
that's cool.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I've actually been a sports junkie longer than a versus one. I mean, I like both genres really well, but I grew up in Cleveland, so I'm like a diehard Cavaliers fan. And Rebound Rewind. If anyone's interested in NBA type content, you guys could check that out.
Absolutely. Right. I never. When did you actually start that channel? Because I never heard about it. I never heard about that.
Yeah. I started it actually about 7 or 8 months ago. I forgot the exact date, and I have about like 30 videos on there. And yeah, I don't usually try to push it onto the versus stuff because like it's so different in terms of like content genre. But every now and then I did drop like a community post letting my fans know about it. But yeah, it's called Rebound Rewind. If anyone's interested in like NBA type videos.
All right, I just subscribed.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, 16K. That's really good.
Yeah, it's doing surprisingly well, and I appreciate all the fans supporting it. And it's a lot of fun because I love talking about basketball almost as much as versus, maybe even more.
That's
Nice.
awesome. I'll definitely start watching it. But yeah,
Yeah, let's check that out.
if you guys haven't saw that channel, please subscribe. I'll actually put a link in the chat below.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
go
So
for
you can watch it.
Yeah, do it.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Anytime, bro. Anytime, man.
Thanks.
I think
I got the
question?
next question. Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Were you at all worried about the pay for your team in case the YouTube algorithm didn't work in your favor?
Oh, that is a really good question. And there were some dark times, especially the first Adpocalypse. That one was real scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there have been times where we were worried about, maybe we should slow down uploads, maybe we should take a break. And yes, to answer that question, a definite big yes. YouTube, it's so hard to predict the future of the internet in terms of like the algorithm. It's like inconsistent is the only thing that's guaranteed on the internet. Like it's not like something where it's guaranteed if you do this amount of work, you'll get this amount of reward for it. It's like you could work super hard, put so much money into a project and have it do flat. And then on the flip side, you could make like a YouTube poop or a quick meme and have that go super viral. So it's like with YouTube, there's so much unpredictability. And yes, that especially being an animator, and this is for all animators, being an animator in terms of like financing an animated series is a huge challenge on the internet.
Yeah, I bet that's crazy. Yeah, because just I can't even imagine that kind of stress of just having to worry if you're not gonna have the money to pay your team that helps you make these amazing animation videos. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but good things are planned out, especially with budget. So, but no, we had a big learning curve with that first ad boycott because no one on the internet was expecting that, and that hit all YouTubers across the board. So, yeah, the internet, there's a lot of unpredictability in terms of algorithm and trends and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Fair enough.
All right. Next question, Ivan?
Yes, next question is, hold on. Will you ever consider doing a behind-the-scenes video of making Rewind Rumble / Cartoon Fight Club?
That is actually a really good idea, and I actually did it only one time, which was for Sonic and Tails versus Sonic.exe and Tails Doll. That's probably the only behind-the-scenes video I did where I showed like the 3D warehouse map for the track that during the chase scene they were running on, and the Anime Studio 9 sprite battle scene. I showed a little bit of that, but I've never done one for Rewind Rumble, and I think in the future that would be really fun to do, especially maybe a 3D match and a sprite match. I might do one a piece, or even talk about like the behind the scenes on how we produce Total Wars, because that's also a really huge challenge that has a lot of different cool things that I think the audience would be interested in seeing, like how that's all plotted out. And
oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's a really good suggestion that I'll definitely consider for the future.
All right,
Absolutely,
yeah,
I would love to see that.
Yeah, that'd be really good. That always be very, like, to me. That always would be very interesting to see. Just like the work you and your team, how much like it takes and everything. Just like it would be awesome. I think it'll be.
It's good to really. It's also really good to like motivate people who are looking to do this. They got a good idea of, hey, this is a good way to start, or maybe even another suggestion, like maybe how to like start like for very basic, how to start like a versus community, like, hey, what you need to do, what kind of system you need, all this other stuff for beginners and stuff like that. So not just the behind the scenes, but to motivate people to doing this as well, because this is it's fun stuff to do.
Yeah,
definitely.
Really agree.
All right, next question. Are you thinking of going to any cons next year after the pandemic passes?
That's a good question, and the only con I've ever been to was VidCon like 2 years ago. I don't go to a lot of cons, but if this pandemic officially gets we find a vaccine and it just really like gets taken care of, I would be interested in like doing one in the future. I don't know too much about doing it because I only went to one in my entire life, really. But it is a fun concept because I know like
same.
Group 13 has really cool conventions, and where you could like ask them panel Q&A live, which is a lot of fun to do. I'll definitely think about it. But off the top of my head, I don't really know like the process of that type of stuff.
Yeah, same. Like I think for me, the only con I ever went to was last year's the LA Comic Con. That was the only one I ever gone to. It was a lot of fun. I even dressed up as Thor and all that. Like, yeah,
cool. Yeah, like post War Game Thor or whatever.
Yeah, it was post War Game Thor. He's all fat.
Yeah, because I was like
wearing a sweater and everything. Like,
yeah, I was like, when I first saw that, I was just like, Reuben, what the F are you wearing? I'm like, did you just put that together? And he told me, wait, that's Thor, and I have to look back on the internet, like, oh, I don't know, like, this was what Thor looks like. And I have to say, yours was literally, because I saw 3 people in that same outfit. Yours was legit the best.
Thanks. Yeah, I actually got a lot of props over there. That was crazy.
Yeah, but I was like, what the hell is this kid wearing? Like, dude, did you just get up and just decide to put random shit on together? I was like, I loved it. I really did, but I digress. All right, next question is, how did you come up with the versus videos?
That's a really good question. Cartoon Fight Club in its infancy, it really actually was supposed to be a parody of the movie Fight Club, which it would have had a plot where cartoon characters would meet up in a secret location. But then I realized that doing that, especially with my lack of abilities, especially 4 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago, because it started in 2015, depending where you want to count the date. But I decided to downsize that project and just stick to like a purely who would win type of theme, with Wario versus Knuckles being the first episode. And even you could see in Mordecai and Rigby versus Finn and Jake, the first one, it started off with Finn receiving a letter to join the Cartoon Fight Club, because that was actually supposed to be one of my first episodes where that would have been the branched off thing. But I downsized that series' theme, because it was just so much of a challenge, especially back 5 years ago. And that's pretty much a Cartoon Fight Club, the way it came out today, it was more of a happy accident. And that's something that I like planned out, which would have been like the parody of the Fight Club movie.
Okay, that's cool.
All right, next question. What is your favorite childhood anime?
Oh, Bobobo, because that was actually one of the first anime I have ever seen. It used to come on like really late Cartoon Network. I remember watching it at either late elementary school or early middle school, and that was my introduction to anime, that might have not been the best introduction, because Bobobo in of itself is more like a parody of anime. You got characters like Don Patch, Jelly Jiggler, who are the definition of like slapstick humor. And references, because when Don Patch goes like to serious Patch mode, it's clearly like mocking Vegeta and stuff like that. But Bobobo is like one. The only unfortunate thing about that series is the anime, at least, it ended so abruptly. Like they just like, and this is the last episode, goodbye, and like there was no like really like fulfilling ending to that. But I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the manga, though, I'm pretty sure still goes on in Japan. But in terms of like that anime itself, yeah, it ended so abruptly. But that was my first and my all-time favorite anime.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
so. That actually leads into the next question. But is it currently your favorite anime, or do you have a different favorite anime now?
Well, I mean, that one has like a huge spot in my childhood, especially like that arc with the Hare Hunters and Bobobo. It's just my favorite. I mean, like in terms of right now. I mean. Yeah. It's because it is older, and like I do go back and watch older episodes from time to time. But in terms of like more modern stuff, I'm more of like it is kind of sound a bit normie, but Dragon Ball Super is like really.
Hey.
Yeah.
Don't hate, Ivan. Don't hate.
I'm not. I am hating.
How dare you?
How dare you?
What?
Oh, no, I was afraid of that. That's something. Don't say Dragon Ball. Like fucking A, dude. I lost for something.
Hey, dude, it's Dragon Ball, man. Everyone loves Dragon Ball. I mean, except for
I don't. No, I'm just kidding.
But
I don't. No, I'm kidding. Okay, there's some aspects I did enjoy. I'm not gonna lie, but it's all right. It's fine. All right, next. I already answered that next question.
I got it. Do you have a favorite video game you play at the moment?
Oh, I mean, at the moment, I've actually been really busy. But in terms of my childhood, there's this really old game. Not a lot of people know about it. It's called Extermination. It came out for the PS2. It's like a survivor horror. You play as a Marine named Dennis, and you're sent to like the Arctic to fight off like this zombie virus that infects like his other Marines, and that's one of my all-time favorite childhood games. It's not really a childhood game. It's rated M, but I used to play it when I was younger.
It's just something you grew up with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played a lot of like mature themed stuff, which I probably shouldn't have, but that and Jack and Daxter is one of my all-time favorite games. But at the moment, I actually don't play too much video games. I'd like to have more free time, but I just have like a lot of time being sucked into, and I'm not complaining by any means. I mean, I love what I do, but yeah, I don't play as much as I'd like to. But
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's totally cool.
Yeah, like one of my favorite childhood video games is Conker's Bad Fur Day for the Nintendo 64.
Oh, that game! Oh god, I heard that game was disgusting. Like really raunchy. Okay.
It was a trip. I'm surprised I got away with playing that when I was younger.
That's like Banjo-Kazooie, like rated R for the most part.
Yeah,
that's a good game.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
My whatchamacallit, childhood games are like Sonic games. I played all three of this Genesis games. Sonic the Hedgehog 1, 2, and 3. I played I still have my GameCube with the Sonic games like Sonic Adventure 1, 2, and Sonic Heroes. I still play to this day. If I feel like I'm in the mood, I'll just hook it up and I'll play with it, and I still have fun even after over 10 years of having not played it. I still have fun with it. And if I ever get a chance to get an emulator, I would totally stream it to let people know, hey, this is what I grew up with, and let me show you how awesome this game was. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, next question. Without spoilers, do you have any side projects you're working on at the moment?
Without spoilers, that'd be really tough to answer. But I do try to get back into parodies because even on Rewind Rumble, we did something called If Mario and Sonic Switched Girlfriends. And maybe
I saw that.
Yeah, I remember that.
I might be thinking about bringing back parodies, but that's pretty much it without spoiling anything in specific. But
gotcha.
That's fine.
No worries. All right. For the rest of 2020, do you have any goals for your channels and for yourself in general?
Yeah, for the channel, definitely finish off this. Well, not finish the season because I don't know if we would finish the entire season. But the main course episodes, we want to at least do once a month and drop it at the end of each month. But obviously, we're not going to rush that process because if we need more time, we don't want to. Because if you rush a video, then you can never go back and you can always remaster it, but that video in of itself will forever be rushed. But yeah, our goals is to do at least one main course episode a month. And then in personal, I don't really have a lot of personal goals at the moment, but it's more focusing on the channel and just, trying to stay healthy and, make sure all that stuff goes good. But yeah.
That's
cool.
Yeah, that's really good,
cool.
Dude.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you want to name the next one?
Yeah, sure. Okay. What were some ups and downs during your journeys on YouTube?
Yeah, ups, obviously having this awesome community and, all the subscribers and the fans. It's a huge honor, and I'm totally humbled, and I appreciate everyone who supports the team. The downs would probably have to be YouTube itself, especially with the adpocalypse in 2017 and then the recent scare with Kappa. And the algorithm in of itself is quite kind of scary if you overthink it and try to, worry about it too much. But ultimately, the best advice would be to not worry about too much of what you can't control, because there's a lot of things you can't control in terms of the algorithm. You can always try to focus on trending topics and stuff, but ultimately that algorithm is going to dictate a big chunk of how well a certain video does. So in terms of ups and downs, the ups is definitely the fans and the community, and dealing with the algorithm would have to be one of the more scarier moments because that can make or break a channel. And there's a lot of good channels that, they don't pop off as much as you think they would. A very underrated channel would be Flat Zone. They make a lot of great versus matches and high quality animations. And, I really wish the algorithm would show that channel a lot more love. And even Crossover X, they make a lot of really good versus fights. And it's kind of crazy how the algorithm, it's so mindless. And if people I know it's like that on purpose so people don't try to game the system. But at what ends do you say to yourself this machine is too mindless and it's so unpredictable? But yeah, it's really, that's pretty much, I could go on rambling all day on that one. But yeah.
No, I get you. Yeah,
I totally understand. I agree with that. There has to be someone to do it manually. Someone that will actually take it seriously, and so that way, someone's not gaming the system, but they're doing it fairly. And if it's something that shouldn't have to be shouldn't a bot really be relied on, but an actual human to be able to do that, and not some cheap ass person that's just gonna be biased towards one person. It's just like get them to do whatever they want and then just shit on everyone else. So I can tell
Yeah.
that is a potential issue, but I do feel like there's a way to balance that out. And will they get it? We'll just have to wait and see. But
Yeah.
next question.
If you had the chance to create and voice a fictional character to add to a show/anime, which show/anime would that be?
Oh wow! Like create a character from scratch and voice it from. I mean,
Yeah, and add it to like a show that already exists, like either show or anime.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not much of a voice actor. Sometimes, I actually used to do all the voice. Like I played
I
one
remember.
in one of the Chuckles, like Wadio. Like it was like major, but no, I mean, like I think it actually is to answer that question. I mean, maybe doing so like with the Mario and Sonic Total War on Rewind Rumble, we were actually trying to like really flesh that out. Though ultimately that one kind of developed into like just a straight up fight compilation towards the second half of that episode. But if I were to like really like be part of something, I would probably want to like try to like reanimate that one, but make it more plot based with a story and maybe voice one of the characters, maybe a narrator's role. I'm not too much of a voice actor, so it's kind of hard for me to answer that question. But yeah, definitely maybe trying to like have a story based Mario vs. Sonic type thing, at least in that Total War setting. Like, I know there's a lot of good Mario parodies like Super Mario Bros. Z and like Nazo Unleashed in terms of Sonic parodies at least. But yeah, I don't know. It's a good question that I don't think I have a good answer for because I haven't really thought too deep into that, or at least in voice acting in general.
I get you. No worries. Yeah, like even for me, that would be a tricky question to answer as well. Like the only thing I could think of for me, if I had to answer that, would be like it would be really cool to be able to create my own, say, because I'm a fan of Dragon Ball, Ivan. I'm a fan of Dragon Ball Super. If I had the opportunity, I would love to be able to create my own Saiyan and being able to voice my own Saiyan in Dragon Ball Super. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be sweet. Yeah, I agree with that. Thinking about that, I might hop onto your answer. That's a good answer to that one.
All right. Well, we have one more question for you. I was looking for Ivan. Are you there?
Oh, he seems to be like.
Yeah, he's having technical difficulties at the moment.
That's all right. I mean, but go ahead.
Yeah, but I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and read the last question, and then we'll try to get to the questions that the audience is asking. So the final question I have here is: when you started to make animation videos on YouTube, when was that moment you realized you have something special here?
That's a really awesome question, and actually, it was Superman versus Hulk, Cartoon Fight Club episode 4. I realized that was the moment when I realized this could be a long-term series that the community.
Thanks for stealing my question. Anyway, when you started making animation videos on YouTube, what's the moment you realized? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Yuri.
No.
Just answer the question.
Thank you for interrupting with his answer, Ivan.
It was you know how I feel. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. I'm sorry, George.
It was actually Superman versus Hulk, and after that episode, I realized people wanted to see that one more. I mean, the series in general. So that's when I realized like this could potentially be a prolonged series and not something I just do once and never touch again. But yeah, back in late 2015, early 2016 was when I noticed that this is Cartoon Fight Club was something that the community was interested in, and I just kept going at it, and then the story wrote itself.
That's awesome, man.
That's really good, dude.
So that was pretty much that episode was the turning point. Were there any other potential turning points?
I mean, Goku versus Naruto 1 was like a turning point on realizing that this could actually be a team endeavor. So that was another huge milestone. But yeah, those are probably the two biggest moments. And then realizing that, hey, this could be a team thing and that this is actually a series that people are interested in.
That's really good, dude.
That's really awesome, man. Really. And I believe that's the question that we have. So I think now it's a good time to get into our fans' questions right now. Yep. What do you say?
Yeah.
Okay. And we have one. If I did skip one, I'm sorry. There's one from Anki EA Ignorant Sympathy or whatever. What's your favorite horror? What's your favorite horror game?
There it is.
If Extermination counts, because that is a survival horror for the PlayStation 2, that's got to be one of my favorites. And that one was actually really scary playing as a kid. Like, it's really a lot of the levels take places in old facilities that would like they're all dark and there's a lot of monsters. But in terms of like modern horror games, Silent Hill series is really fun. And there was a demo called PT, and like that one never got completed. But I remember playing that demo, and that was a really scary game and really fun to like, at least in terms of a demo.
Why didn't it get completed?
I don't really know the story about that. I should go look into it when I get the chance. But I remember it was released on the PlayStation as like a DLC free demo, and yeah. But in terms of all time, Extermination is it's a very underrated game, and that's probably one of my all time favorites.
Right on.
I get you. Yeah, I'm not really much of a horror game person. These guys got me into playing Doki Doki, and that one haunted me for life.
You mean Nij got you into that game, and I was just sat and enjoy it.
Nah, you both of you guys goaded me into it. Don't even start.
No, Nij goaded you into it. I was just sitting back and like, yay.
All right, so and the question we got ourselves here is from Booster. I believe here's a topic. I think it means thoughts. Y'all thoughts on the state about YouTube or about the future for the platform? What are our thoughts about the future of the platform in general?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And look, as long as there's a good community of fans who are there to support, there will always be like a back and forth between creator and fan base. But in terms of like the algorithm and how the whole entire platform is ran, it's really hard to say either way. Like this, like if you were to ask me 4 years ago that everything that did happen in terms of how the platform's decisions would have went, I would have predicted all of those wrong. Like predicting the future of this platform is near impossible. So that's what makes answering this question so hard to answer. But it is kind of scary to think about. But then even also like if you overthink about it, it could end up like the Kappa situation where you just give yourself so much fear and it could actually hurt you. And in reality, it might not be as bad. You could overblow it. So to summarize it, just a lot of unpredictability, which is always why you got to focus on your content and focus on your own fan base, because that's probably the only consistent thing you got on this platform is what. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Let me cut you off. You finish your point.
Oh no, just focus on what you can control was pretty much my main point.
Okay. And I was just also add on to that, like also follow the rules, try not to curse too much, and it sucks to be a little bit more PC, but if you want to keep your channel up, is the sacrifices you're gonna have to make until things start to get better and you can start, branching out a little bit more in terms of, hey, I don't have to be so PC anymore. So as long as you keep doing that, but like as he just said, it's all speculation of what we think is going to happen. We just have to wait and see what actually happens. So.
That's honestly a really tricky question to answer because it's like I feel like at this point YouTube is always changing and trying to evolve and trying to improve, but sometimes they take 2 steps back, and so it's like you never know what's going to happen here on YouTube. It's like it's really tricky.
Yeah,
it's always going to be a matter of speculation. There's never going to be, at least at the moment, there's never going to be a definitive answer unless we hear from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so that person actually makes what decision happens. So
yeah,
I digress though. Next question, Girl, are you thinking about uploading your content over to YouTube or whatever video platform?
That's a good question. In terms of other platforms, I haven't really thought about that, but I definitely should because, like, YouTube in of itself, it's always good to have a backup plan because I know a lot of content creators, they have either Storyfire accounts or they upload onto, like, other video sites like Vimeo and such. But I personally I don't have a back catalog like that, but I should definitely look into it, and I appreciate
Oh yeah, definitely. Just in case, all your hard work goes down. Hopefully, you're also saving your information too, because because you don't save it and then the whole thing goes away. That's just devastating. I wouldn't want that to happen to you at all.
Always good to have things back up on a drive. So
absolutely.
Yeah. It's always best to have a backup plan in case anything goes south. You never know.
Absolutely.
All right. One of our next question here is let me see from Star Pants. Here's the topic I want you guys to talk about. Let me see. What your thoughts about animations on YouTube and how YouTube treats animations?
Yeah, I kind of wish YouTube would, move away from like the watch time. Well, I totally understand where they're coming from because they're trying to mimic the TV programming because that's all based on how many concurrent viewers you can get and how long you could keep them to stuff more ads in their face. So like from a business perspective, I totally understand why they favor watch time over total view count. But if YouTube, because like I know YouTube has like a section specifically for gaming, and they have a section specifically for YouTube Music in terms of like even their own apps. I'm pretty sure there's like a YouTube Music app. But if they were to consider like something exclusive to animators, I think that'd be a really big win for the community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Next question. You answered that. Do you love being a part of the podcast, or do you like rather?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Being a part of this podcast is awesome, and as long as I got the free time, I'm always happy to come on and just chill out, answer some questions, and just really have a good time. So I'm definitely a huge fan, and I appreciate you guys inviting me again.
No problem.
Yeah,
so I'm just glad we didn't scare you. I'm just glad we didn't scare you off in the last podcast we did. we kind of got a little raunchy with that episode. I'm not gonna lie, we did. I was just like, oh my god, like because there was N words and there was just like someone like, oh my god, please, George, I'm so sorry. This is not how it is. No, I'm so happy you came back, bro. So
it's really good. Man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem, man. I think we got just one last question to go.
Let me see. We got a question here from. From Max the Inky Boy. Let me see. What's your favorite episode of Cartoon Fight Club?
Oh, the meme saga, the meme Infinity War, and the meme free for all. But in terms of like a serious match, Justice League versus Avengers, in terms of how Cartoon Fight Club goes,
I like that one.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite CFC because like I feel like that one was like the first team Total War that we really knocked it out of the park because I'll be honest, some Total Wars don't go exactly how we would have liked it in terms of like making sure the animation really feels like a story and not like a fight compilation because some of them do end up feeling like fight compilations. But the Justice League versus Avengers in terms of like serious matches, but the meme wars in terms of like just going all out and just having a fun time with.
Okay, so Reuben, this question also applies to both of us. So, what's your favorite fight? Cartoon Fight Club. It's a question for both of us too.
Oh, it was okay. You see,
I didn't know she had 808. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm just trying to because I've seen so many. I'm trying to think which one was my favorite.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones.
Yeah,
Wario versus Shadow, Mario versus Luigi. If you want to count Rewind Rumbles like Dark Sonic versus Goku Black, or Smash Ultimate versus PlayStation All Stars, or Smash Bros versus Jump Force, and the Swordsman Free For All. I mean, like, there's a lot of good ones, so it is kind of hard to choose because there's just so many.
Yeah, I think my favorite Cartoon Fight Club one was the what was it? Smash Ultimate versus Jump Force.
Yeah, that was really.
I like that one.
That one I thought was really good.
Yeah. That one, got a bit salty because a lot of people wanted to. I mean, in terms of more fun game, that is the more fun game.
Who won that? Who won that match?
Since I
saw it. Two Force? Force? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, the anime, yeah.
I can totally see why. That was a good episode, too. And I would say one of my favorite episodes of Cartoon Fight Club was, I just had it at the top of my head. I will say Rewind Rumble. I love Sasuke versus Shadow. Definitely one of my favorite ones. That's definitely one of my favorite ones. The Cartoon Fight Club, I just had it at the top of my head. I don't know what the hell happened now. I just had it, but
I mean, if you were to ask me this question randomly, I might have a different answer because my heart is like attached on so many different places. It's kind of like asking which is your favorite kid. It's like
you can't really choose between one.
Yeah. Like for me, I think Rewind Rumble. I think one of my favorites ones on there is like probably like what was it, Gogeta versus Super Bat, and
that's really fun.
Yeah. Even I even personally enjoyed Dexter versus Jimmy Neutron. To be 100% honest.
Oh yeah, that's a really creative one.
I like that one too. Like that, I could tell. Yeah. Even though I'm kind of upset because I like Jimmy Neutron better than Dexter, but it's what it is.
But it's Dexter's laboratory, dude.
I don't give a damn. I'll get bitch Jimmy Neutron's boy genius. No, I'm kidding. It was a good episode. I loved it anyway.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, no problem, brother.
Let's see. I think one of the last main questions really, or there's two, I think. We have one saying, are you thinking of having your own website?
That's a good question, and I am definitely thinking about having a website where we could upload videos to, kind of like because that actually might be a better alternative instead of moving over to Vimeo or a different hosting site, is to just have our own website where we can definitely have a central place where this is where no matter what, no matter how crazy YouTube is, there'll always be a website to go back to. So though setting one up, there's a lot of challenges in terms of like getting the correct domain, getting the correct bandwidth and hosting. But hopefully we could cross those challenges and have a website set up. I do think about it a lot, but it's just there's a lot of challenges in terms of like really like buckling it down and making sure everything is like good to go, because you don't want to have a website set up and have it be like a total mess of a site with like a lot of like really bad code or bad like CSS in terms of styling the site. So there's just a lot of stuff to make sure to get correct in terms of having an official website put out.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking about that. I think having your own website where you can pretty much have free reign to do whatever you want, like any kind of music or whatever. Yeah, and, like it's just go free reign. I just realized now one of my favorite episodes was I'm sorry about that. I got jets flying around.
Oh, it's okay.
No problem, dude.
Yeah, hold on. I was gonna say one of my favorite episodes was Ash versus Red, where there was no Pokemon battle. It was just like fist to fist. Yeah. That one was hilarious because Ash is so superhuman in that show. If you've seen it, I was like, dude, this is a shit stomp. Like when I first saw this match, I was like, dude, is this really necessary? Like, Ash is gonna win. He picked a log with his hand. He jumped like 50 feet into the Team Rocket's air balloon. I'm just like, really? I loved it, but
it was a song. But in terms of animating that and making it into a fight, it was just a really funny concept because you'd expect that to be a Pokemon match to see like who's the better tactician. But like
I did too.
Let's push that to the side, have them fist fight, because it's just, especially for a cartoon fight club where we like to do a little bit more jokes and like not take it as seriously. But if that were to be a Rewind Rumble, it would have definitely been a Pokemon fight. But like in terms of CFC, we wanted to just like, really have fun with it and just have it be like a fist fight. So yeah, that is a really fun episode. And,
yeah, definitely.
There you go. He's back.
Are you good?
Pokemon. I'm fine. It's just I was literally expecting a Pokemon battle, but I was like, oh wait, this is a fist fight. I'm like, okay. So I like the little clickbait there. I thought that was interesting. All right, next question.
All right, next question. You want to do it?
Yeah, I'll do it. What's your favorite podcast to listen to?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't have a lot of time to really like listen to podcasts, but your guys' show is really good, and I'm a huge fan of what you guys do. But
thanks.
Yeah, I mean, the Death Battle cast is pretty good, but I don't watch a lot of that either because I just don't have time to like really sit down and listen to full length podcasts. Especially like I know a lot of people like to work to podcasts, but when you're animating, you have to pay attention to the audio as well as the animation. So it's really hard to multitask listening to two different audio types, especially if it's two different people talking. If you're listening to like background music, it's a little bit easier, but like now if you're writing or like designing something, then it's a little bit easier to just like listen to two, because then you're not focusing on two different types of audio. But when you're working on something that has audio with it, it's really hard to like have a different type of audio be in the, at least for me. Like I can't speak for someone else. Like maybe someone else could like have better like multitasking with that. But yeah, I just don't really have a lot of time to sit down and listen to podcasts. But
no, I get you, especially because I totally understand. But for how busy you are, trying to focus and trying to get everything set up the way you want it to, it's like you don't have enough time as it is. Like maybe once in a while you probably do, but like yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, I'm a little bit on the same boat with you right now at the moment. Like I think for me, some of the original podcasts I used to listen to, I'm a wrestling fan. I'm still a little bit of a wrestling fan. But there's this wrestler named Chris Jericho. He has a podcast called Talk is Jericho. I would listen to it all the time. Stone Cold Steve Austin has his, but I stopped listening to them because I've been so busy doing other things. Like, yeah, I haven't had time.
Oh, I totally get it, man. Totally
get it. But hopefully Ivan gets back so we can finish up the podcast with them. We got just a few more questions. I think he's coming in right now.
Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that.
No problem. You didn't miss much. You didn't miss much at all.
Okay, so did you read the next question already?
No, I didn't. You want me to read it?
So no, I'll read it. This is probably gonna be the last. This will be the two more, and that's it.
Yeah.
Do you have any merchandise designs coming soon?
I mean, that's a good question. We might consider having some Rewind Rumble type merch, but at the moment, no. I mean, I do have. I'm wearing a Senigi versus Spoder.
Nice.
I do have some Animation Rewind merch and Cartoon Fight Club stuff, but I'll think about designing some new stuff. Though, yeah, at the moment, not exactly. Like just to answer that, I just have some old stuff like this.
Gotcha,
That's cool.
gotcha. That's good. It's still a good shirt, honestly.
Oh, thanks.
It's dope. It's dope.
One of the last questions here. We didn't really miss that question because I feel like that tied in with the podcast in general. But it says like, do you love being guests on the Reaction Squad podcast and this podcast?
Yeah, I definitely love coming on here because like you guys are real genuine and down to earth and just straight up,
man.
Thank you, dude. Really appreciate it. Yeah, you too.
So it's so much fun to just come on here and just explore the community because like this is one of the greatest ways to just get face to face with the fans in the comment section and just just to really like flesh out the ideas in terms of the versus genre in general. So I'm a total fan of coming on here.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. And please feel free to come anytime you want, man. We're more than happy to have you on. Absolutely. And I think that's the last question.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That was it. Thank you, Animation One. Thank you so much. Yeah, there we go. That was it.
Hey, awesome. Well, I was happy to be on, and thanks for having me, guys. It was a real great episode.
Yeah, dude.
No problem, man. Thank you so much again for coming back.
Yeah,
huge honor, man.
Being our second guest ever on our spin-off channel is a lot of fun. We really do appreciate it. Love your guys' content. I hope you guys keep it up with the good work. Yeah. Do you want to roll us off, Ivan?
Yeah, I'll roll us off. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for this episode. George, thank you so much again for once again being a fantastic host on the show. You're feel free to come back anytime you want. Yeah, man, just a dope dude. And guys, also please subscribe to all of our social media channels, especially to George's Animation Rewind Rumble, including his current new series is Rebound Rewind, which we'll also leave in the description down below. So please go subscribe to that because I just did.
Thanks
are gonna do it. No problem, brother. Anyway, guys, as we always say, if you guys have anything else you want us to react to or any guests you want us to have on, let us know in the comments below. Put a post notification so you don't miss what I do, and fuck these Jets. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow us on all of our social medias on Instagram, Twitter, and all that stuff. And we'll see you guys in the next video.
Later, everybody.
Stay awesome. Love you guys.